Hey, let's learn about derivatives. What's a derivative? I don't know. Let's look for a definition.
Okay, Google. Define the derivative.
Derivative, typically of an artist or work of art, imitative of the work of another person, and usually disapproved of for that reason.
Actually, though, this is the formal calculus definition of the derivative. You might find it in this alternate form, too. Basically, use these functions to find the instantaneous rate of change, or the slope, of a function at a specific point. You could literally put every equation you want to find the derivative of into this function, but there are some rules that make it easier. The first is the most common, the power rule. Basically, if you have a common, uncomplicated function like this one, you find the derivative by bringing the exponent to the front, then subtracting 1 from it. If it's a constant, then it goes away. This applies to every part of the function. So much for being constant, right, fellas? Get it? 'Cause it left even though it's supposed to be a constant? My dad was the same way. Next, the product rule. Use this rule if you're trying to find the derivative of two functions multiplied together. Basically, you find the derivative of the first multiplied by the original second, then add that to the derivative of the second multiplied by the original first. By the way, if you didn't realize this take apostrophe thing means prime, which means the derivative of. Next, the quotient rule. Use this rule if you're trying to find the derivative of a function divided by another function. There's a cool way of remembering this that my calculus teacher told me, or well, sang to me.
Low, D high, minus high, D low, all over low, squirt!
Okay, so maybe it wasn't quite delivered like that, but in reality, the derivative is the derivative of the high function times the low function minus the derivative of the low function times the high function all over the low function squared. Finally, the chain rule. Use this if you're trying to find the derivative of a function with the form f of g of x, or in simpler terms, of a function within another function. What you do here is that you take the derivative of the outside and leave the inside intact, and then multiply all of that by the derivative of the inside. Cool, that's most of the rules for finding derivatives in calculus. Now that you know that, here are some derivatives that you should just memorize anyway. They are prime to your success in calculus. Get it? Yeah. The derivative of sine is cosine. However, the derivative of cosine is negative sine because cosine is negative. Remember this. Cosine to sine is negative. Cosine to sine is negative. Cosine to sine is negative. The derivative of secant is secant x tangent x, and the derivative of cosecant is cosecant x cotangent x. Also, the derivative of tan x is secant squared x. You can prove these both pretty easily, but it's easier to just memorize and believe it, kind of like church. The derivative of a natural log is 1 over whatever's on the inside, and the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. However, this doesn't mean that any derivative of e to whatever is just itself. The chain rule still applies, like in how the derivative of e to the 3x equals 3e to the 3x. Anyway, that's derivatives. Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're not, go eat a lasagna. Believe me, this is pretty easy as far as calculus goes. Good luck.